Welcome back, everyone. Today we are asking the expert. The holidays are a perfect time for giving the gift of sickness, something that nobody wants. But officials believe that RSV cases may have peaked for the season, but the CDC says that weekly flu hospital admissions are on the rise, along with COVID cases also on the rise across the country. Right now, doctors are urging folks to make sure that you stay up to date on your vaccines, as new hospitalizations are keeping a number of medical teams busy. One of those people staying really busy, he's in the scrubs right now, just came out of the ER, Dr. Frank Lovecchio, who works in the ER over at Valley Wise Health. Dr. Lovecchio, we always appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.
Here on 12 News. All right, so this tripledemic, COVID cases, RSV, and the flu, all happening at one time. What do folks need to know as this is happening?
Well, if you come in with those symptoms, they seem identical. They have, runny nose, cough, fever, many times it's non-productive, and your body feels terrible. Huge body ache. People say they felt like a bus hit them. It's very hard for me to differentiate the three. In fact, we have a swab, goes in your nose or throat, and it can differentiate which one you have. The treatments are different for all of them. Most of them in general is the general, if your fever's up, take some medicine. If you're not eating well, increase your fluids. But for the flu, we have things like Tamiflu, for example. For COVID-19, we have some other medications. For RSV, really not that much. If you need oxygen, we give it to you. If you need fluids, we give it to you.
Is it possible to have all three at the same time?
Believe it or not, we get pretty excited because about half of the cases in the emergency department now are respiratory related with these viruses. And we get pretty excited when somebody has two of them. We say, oh, wow, this is something different, because it gets a little monotonous. Cough, cold, fever, low oxygen, what are we going to do with you? And we check in and say, oh, wow, they have two. That's pretty fascinating. But it's rare, very rare.
In Phoenix, we were talking a little bit about this here in Arizona. Are you seeing more cases compared to maybe some other parts of the country? Obviously, if you're in an enclosed, confined space, you're more likely to kind of generate that illness. But here in Arizona, it's still kind of warm. People are still out. Are you still seeing, compared to other parts of the country, is Arizona faring pretty well when it comes to these rates, or are we still kind of seeing what everybody else across the country is seeing?
Compared to what we had a year or two ago was horrendous. We had RSV occupying all of the hospitals in town, all the pediatric hospitals. It's much, much better now. Now there's a shot little babies can take when they're under a year old, and the under a year old gets really sick with RSV, and to give them a shot like an immunization. If you're over 60, you can get a vaccine for RSV now, but it isn't as bad. And what you said is stay away from people. The single best thing you can do is if you're sick, stay home. It's not like the old days where you say, tough it up, come to work. You don't want to give a present of the flu to somebody.
All right, let's talk about the latest the COVID strain, JN1, which has started to rapidly become more of the common strain of this, of COVID. We're still dealing with this many years later. A variant of Omicron, 3% in November. Now it's skyrocketed to, I believe, 21% this month. What do folks need to be aware of when it comes to this particular strain?
Well, the good news is it doesn't seem to be as bad now. And the people that get into trouble are the people that have never been immunized or very, very old with significant comorbidity, like significant diabetes, cancer, HIV, et cetera. I'd still recommend getting a booster. I know people, it's a little controversial topic right now, but I would recommend that. It's not too late, and it's not too late to get your flu vaccine, although it would have been idealer a month or two ago.
Yeah, and those variants are still going to continue to multiply as the virus continues to mutate.
This is never going away.
Yeah.
It's going to be with us,
Yeah.